All right, today we're going to dive into something pretty amazing. It's an idea that's almost 500 years old from a mystic named Saint Teresa of Avila. But believe me, it's as relevant today as it's ever been. We're taking a guided tour of the human soul itself. So let me ask you this. What if your soul was a magnificent crystal castle? I mean, really think about that for a second. It's a huge question, right? Well, it turns out this one single metaphor is the key to unlocking a whole new way of understanding our inner world. And it all comes from this incredible 16th century spiritual classic, The Interior Castle. Okay, so our first stop on this tour, we're going to appreciate the soul's grand design, its divine architecture. What I love about this is that the text doesn't start with a bunch of rules or you must do this. Nope, it just invites us to stop and marvel at the incredible beauty and dignity of what we already have inside us. But, and this is a big but, here's the core problem the whole guide is trying to solve. Most of us, and I mean most of us, suffer from a profound self-ignorance. We don't even realize we have this magnificent castle inside us. We just go about our lives completely unaware of its grandeur. In fact, the author says it's a disgrace that we can know so much about everything else in the world, but be so totally ignorant of ourselves. And here's the image she gives us. She says, I thought of the soul as resembling a castle formed of a single diamond or a very transparent crystal and containing many rooms. Just wow, let that sink in. Your soul isn't something small or broken. It's a vast, brilliant structure made from a single diamond. I mean, talk about a radical way to reframe how you see yourself. Right? So you might be asking, okay, why a castle? What's the big deal? Well, she explains it's because the soul is created in God's image and likeness. So you see, this whole metaphor, it's not just some pretty poetic language. No, it's a powerful statement about our inherent value and dignity. It's like we have a blueprint of the divine right inside of us. Okay, let's break down the characteristics of this inner castle. First, it's formed of a single transparent crystal, so it's beautiful and whole. Second, it's not simple. It contains many rooms or mansions to explore. And this is absolutely crucial. God dwells in the very center chamber. The whole thing, the entire castle, is built around this divine presence at its core, because it was created in His image and likeness. All right, so we have this amazing castle, but a castle's not much good if you're stuck outside, right? So how do we get in? How do we actually enter this place? Well, the guide is super clear about this. The gate is prayer. Now, when she says the gate is prayer, we have to be really specific here because her definition might not be what you think. It's not just about, reciting words from memory. It's a mindful and intentional consideration of who you are speaking to, what you're asking, and who you are that's doing the asking. It's a real conscious act. And this is the key distinction. Look at the difference here. On one side, you have true prayer, mindful consideration, speaking freely, and intentional conversation. On the other side, what's not prayer is just rote repetition, uttering words without thinking, being distracted and superficial. The author is blunt about it. She says that just saying words over and over without any thought behind them, well, that cannot be called prayer. To get into the castle, you need a real conscious conversation, not just going through the motions. Okay, but the text also gives us a pretty serious warning. What about life in the courtyard? What happens when you know where the gate is, but you just never go through it? What's it like to live just outside the castle walls? The thing is, according to the author, many souls live only in the outer courtyard of the castle. I mean, think about that. People spend their entire lives right there, so close to this beautiful place. They might even know it's there, but for whatever reason, they just don't care enough to go inside and see what treasures it holds. And here's why. Here's the big obstacle. The author says these souls become accustomed as they are to be with the reptiles and other creatures which live outside the castle. Reptiles, what does she mean? Well, you can think of them as our modern-day distractions, right? The anxieties, the attachments. It's the endless scrolling on your phone, the constant pings and notifications, all the noise that keeps us from ever looking inward. And when you spend all your time with those reptiles, they start to feel normal. They become your whole reality.
And it gets worse. Saint Teresa says these souls become palsied, basically paralyzed. It's a really tragic process when you think about it. First, you just remain in the outer courtyard. Then, you get used to all the reptiles, the distractions and worries. After a while, you completely forget about the beauty and light inside the castle. And finally, you become spiritually numb, literally unable to even move towards the gate.
Okay, we've had a tour of this amazing inner castle, and we've seen the dangers of staying stuck outside. So what's the big takeaway here? How do you actually start? Let's talk about beginning your inner journey, the first step. When you boil it all down, it's this. To enter the castle is to know yourself. That's it. Remember how the whole problem started with self-ignorance? Well, the solution is self-awareness. The entire journey inside this castle is really just an act of getting to know yourself. Turning towards that gate is the first step in finally learning about the magnificent reality you've had inside you all along. And it all starts with just one thing, one step, one single decision. It's the choice to turn your attention away from all those distractions in the courtyard and to intentionally face the gate, ready to start that real inner conversation. And so after almost 500 years, this incredible guide leaves us with a really personal and timeless question. The map is there. The key has been given. We've been shown the way. So are you ready to open the gate? The final challenge, well, that's entirely up to you.